what your talk will be about is, Dr. Faisal, you'll be about from vital force to systems biology, bridging homeopathy and modern science. So the floor is all yours, Dr. Faisal.
Thank you so much. Everybody can see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So today I'll talk a bit more about philosophy. I'll talk a bit about philosophy. You have not heard a lot of philosophy from me usually, but this is how our topic was, and I think it was the need of an hour, and it was really good of the Academy of Dr. Zareen to organize um, conference on this topic. Right. So thank you so much, Dr. Maria, for the introduction, and I will move ahead with my presentation. Okay. So basically, when I was, understanding Dr. Zareen's and Dr. Prabhu's uh, talk on intersection of philosophy and healing, when they were talking about all those things, I felt I've taken a little bit from both of them here and there, and I've tried to integrate it with homeopathy. So that's what we will try and understand. Okay. So I'll start with vital force. Now, what do you mean by vital force? Vital force is a very, very important concept in homeopathy. Okay, in Organon of Medicine, which is actually the Bible of homeopathy by Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, he has mentioned something about vital force. So, vital force is something which is dynamic. Dynamic means, you cannot see it, but you can feel it. It is there, right? It is dynamic regulatory principle. It maintains harmony, and disease is because of the disturbance of this vital force or vital energy, right? So in homeopathy, the vital force is an invisible, immaterial, and dynamic energy that animates the living body, maintains homeostasis, and directs self healing. It acts as a spirit like, autonomous, and organizing principle that rules the body's sensations and functions, with diseases arising when this force is disturbed or mistuned. Now, all that we have to do in homeopathy is to tune this vital force back to balance. So, vital force is all about your soul, it is all about the inner energy, it is all about homeostasis. We will try it. Many times it is difficult for modern medical practitioners to understand this concept of vital force. What exactly was Hahnemann trying to tell when he was talking about vital force? What is this internal energy? What is it that has got deranged and is causing diseases? So we will try to understand this from the system's biology point of view, so that everybody else who is not from a homeopathic background can understand what actually this concept is. So to go into this concept further, I'll go back in 17th and 20th century. Okay, this was an era of reductionism, right? So this reductionism was basically the principle which broke down complex systems into smaller parts to understand them, like the cells. Okay, to understand a cell, they would break down the cell into smaller components of the cell, like the organelles. The organelles would be broken down into molecules, and they would understand what these molecules are, and ultimately everything else, it went into the genes. So this reductionist era, it led to a major breakthrough, like DNA structure and molecular pathways. All these things were discovered during that time. And this approach is basically rooted in reductionism. If you understand the part, you understand the whole. This is what was the era. Okay, people understood the parts. Okay, to understand the whole. To understand the whole, first they thought we will understand the parts. Right, now, see how science is now. You all will see. When we progress ahead in the slides, how everything goes on to holism, how everything goes on to the holistic principles later on. This is what biology has proved, right? But still, modern medical doctors fail to understand, and they are still not following it, although everything has been proved. But in homeopathy, this principle was there right at the beginning. The holism principle was right at the beginning. right? So what were the successes of this reductionist era? Discovery of DNA, definitely it was a great discovery. Enzyme pathways, pharmacology targeting specific receptors. So this is where specific remedies came up, specific medicines came up, like painkillers. So for example, acetaminophen, it blocks the pain channels. So we'll give to block the to reduce the pain or to decrease the pain or to remove the pain, I'll give acetaminophen, it will block the pain channels. Right? This is how this medicines, they came up, and now we are still following it where we have already changed this concept, but still the things are being followed the same way, right? And what are the limitations of this system? It could not explain the emergent behavior. Example, the consciousness, the chronic disease patterns. Because in chronic diseases, it is not just one part. Pathologically, it is not just one part. There are many other organs that are involved, right? So, reductionist theory, it was not able to explain the chronic pathological patterns, chronic disease patterns, right? So then, since these were the limitations, they started moving ahead, and then, they started understanding what this problem is. Okay, so they realized that there's complexity in living systems, right? So the biologists, they started noticing that the gene is same, but the outcomes are different, right? All humans have the same gene, but still the disease patterns are different. The way the disease affects them are different. The way the disease expresses is different. That is what was understood. And then they then tried to understand that it is not just the part, it is again the whole. So the same disease, but the patients are different, the patterns are different. So the linear cause effect relationship, it didn't apply always. That is what they realized, right? It is not as simple. It is not simple. Mycobacterium tuberculosis affected you, you got tuberculosis. It's not as simple as that. Understanding a disease is not as simple as that. Linear cause effect doesn't work every time. So this exposed the gaps. I mean, what were the gaps? Interactions matter more than the isolated parts. So it is not just one part that is affected, but it is the whole system that is affected. All right. Context changes the outcomes. Right. So then there was a rise of systems thinking in the late 20th century and afterwards. So with advances in computing and data, biology shifted towards systems biology, right? And the core idea over here was the whole is more than the sum of its part. This is what was the concept of homeopathy. And this concept in homeopathy was known before this, many, many years ago. We already, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann had already told about this, right? It is the whole, okay? It is the whole that is more than the sum of its part. So instead of studying the components in isolation, systems biology studies networks, interactions, and feedback loops. Now, what is all these things? We'll try and understand a bit in detail. So I just have half an hour, so I've tried to, shorten the things as much as I can. So, interconnected networks, when we talk of them, the genes, the proteins, the organs, they don't act alone. They act in interaction with each other. For example, the brain, the immune system, the endocrine system, they all work together. We have pathways. Like Dr. Zareen in our previous conference, I remember, was talking about the psychoneuroendocrinal axis that exists. So what is that axis? It is your brain, it is your immunity, it is your endocrine system. Along with that, it is also your mind. Everything is in interconnection with each other. You cannot just consider one part. Okay, this is how our body is also made up, right? It's not just the thyroid hormone that is just coming out and acting all on its own. There's some stimulation to the thyroid gland. Then the thyroid hormone gets stimulated, then the thyroid hormone is released from the thyroid gland. And these thyroid hormones then go and act on the body or the cells, wherever they are, the need is. And it acts on the whole system. So that's why these are interconnected networks. And in systems thinking, they started understanding more as a whole person, as a whole individual. The feedback loops, like the body self regulates through continuous adjustments, like the temperature control. the hormonal balance. The moment one particular hormone decreases in the body, okay, the feedback loop will be activated, and automatically that hormone will again be set to balance, right? This is homeostasis that we are talking about. So these feedback loops are important. Okay. And new properties, they arise that cannot be predicted from paths alone. Okay, example, consciousness and immunity patterns, right? We cannot understand this just on one part or just on one incident of a person's life space. We need to understand this from a holistic perspective. Only then it is easy for us to understand that person, right? So the technological shift that enabled this, we know about all these things. This is genomics and big data, bioinformatics, computational modeling. So scientists could map entire biological networks, okay, not just one single pathway, but they were able to map everything together. That is what systems biology was about. Okay, so in the reductionist model, there was always a linear cause effect relationship, right? Systems thinking was nonlinear interactions. Not always not everything is linear, everything is interconnected, right? Reductionist theory was focused only on isolated parts, whereas systems thinking, or it focused on the integrated network, right? Reductionism was always static, materialistic, right? Whereas system thinking gave importance to the dynamic and adaptive aspects as well. Not everything is materialistic, not everything is caused by material force. There are a lot of things which are caused by dynamic force. For example, grief, it is something dynamic. You can feel it, but you cannot see it, right? Obviously, when a patient comes to you, if he's crying, you will be able to see that person's grief. But from materialistic point of view, you cannot actually, trace it. It is something which is dynamic, right? And this dynamic, we all know what happens, to our system when we are in grief, right? What are the different conditions that can develop because of grief, right? Depression, anxieties, mood disorders, right? All these, so systems thinking explain that there are some dynamic uh, reasons to the diseases too. It is not just static, it is not just materialistic, right? And in reductionism, one size fits all. Okay, this is what was believed. But unfortunately, although we are in a different era now, but still it is followed in the modern medicine, right? Pain, okay, painkillers. One painkiller fits all. Whether you have a headache or abdominal pain or this pain or that pain, whatever pain it is, everybody, one medicine, one painkiller suits everybody. That was reductionism, right? But in systems thinking, it is more of personalized medicine. Okay, and from homeopathic perspective, I'll say that it is more of individualistic medicine, right? So, this shift led to personalized medicine, and understanding chronic diseases as network disturbances became more understood. Okay, I mean, became more relevant. Integration of mind-body connections like stress, immunity, how they affect the body, all these things were more understood. Okay. Now, in relation to homeopathy, okay, reductionism, when we talk of this, disease is considered as a local pathology, whereas in system thinking, disease is a network of imbalance, right? And this parallels vital force. That is what we started our, talk. That is what I started my talk with. That has regulatory intelligence, and symptoms are just adaptive outputs of the system, right? So you cannot just treat the symptoms and the disease is gone. It doesn't work that way. That's the reason why in homeopathy, although we are looking into the expressions of the disease, that is the symptoms, but we try to understand more of the root cause. We try to heal the person from inside. What we are doing when we are trying to heal the person from inside, we are trying to bring this vital force back to the, uh, you know, regulatory balance. We are trying to bring it back to the intelligence where it was earlier, right? Diseases occur whenever this regulatory intelligence fails or is disturbed or is untuned. Now, in homeopathy, we bring this back to the tune. Okay. So, to summarize, biology started by studying parts in isolation, like examining individual instruments. But modern medicine, okay, modern science, okay, I would say modern science, not medicine, because modern medicine still is backward, I would say, in this concept. So modern science realized that health is more like an orchestra. Understanding the music requires studying how all instruments interact together, right? If you want to, if people who are musicians over here or people who love music, they will understand that if you want to understand music, you need to understand all the instruments and how they interact together with each other. Okay. So when all the instruments are not able to interact with each other, this is where disturbance occurs, right? This is where the vital force gets disturbed. And when vital force gets disturbed, there is disturbed homeostasis. And if this is not tackled, it leads to diseases. Okay. So homeostasis, if we try to understand, is internal balance. Okay. It is feedback regulation. For example, we have glucose balance in our body, temperature regulation in our body. Okay. And from the perspective of homeopathy, okay, and from the perspective of the main concept of vital force, okay, the vital force as described by Samuel Hahnemann can be understood as the body's regulatory intelligence that maintains internal balance. In modern terms, this aligns with homeostasis, just as homeostasis keeps temperature, hormones, and immunity stable through feedback loops. The vital force maintains harmony across mind and body. Okay. So when equilibrium is disturbed, the vital force expresses this balance through symptoms, signaling the need for correction. So when the body is throwing symptoms, actually your body is telling you, hey, you know what? I am in imbalance. Please bring me back to balance. So symptoms are just expressions that tell us that we need to bring the things in balance in our body, right? Another concept of allostasis, in short, I'll touch that. It explains how repeated stress forces the body to adapt. But over time, this leads to allostatic load and chronic diseases. Okay, I was just reading one article, I think day before yesterday. Many times when we scroll on Instagram and Facebook, sometimes we do come across something which is very productive. Okay, 99% of the times, things are non-productive. But day before yesterday, I just read something which was very interesting. They said that zebras usually do not have any kind of chronic diseases. If they get any disease, it's usually, related to wounds or ulcers or something like that because of, the jungles, the forests where they live, right? But it was mentioned that they do not suffer from any chronic diseases, right? And the reason was that they don't take stress like the way we humans take. The moment they have a stress, okay, for them, stress is lions or tigers, who are coming to attack them. All right. So the moment they fear, the moment they have that stress, the moment they notice that, they're going to be killed or they're going to be eaten, the stress level will increase. And that stress level, because of high cortisol levels, they just try and, in stress, what we do, either we fly, okay, or we remain in that area, right? So they fly away, they move out of that area, they run away. The moment that danger is gone, the stress levels automatically go down, and then the adrenal system is completely in balance. That's what happens in zebras. The stress doesn't overwhelm them. The stress is there just for a few seconds. The moment the stress is gone, they don't even think about that stress. And that's the reason why they don't have chronic diseases. Whereas in humans, we are always procrastinating one stress and we'll keep thinking about that stress again and again. We'll keep procrastinating that, something like that similar will keep happening. And because of that, the stress levels are always going to be maintained. Okay, your cortisol level always is going to be high. And then ultimately then chronic diseases they come up. So it was a very good analogy to understand, how our human body, how we have adapted ourselves. We were not like that. We were like zebras many years ago, where we didn't take stress so much to our heart. Okay, but nowadays we don't do that, right? So this was just to, something very interesting. So I thought it would be really great to share. So in homeopathy now, when we talk of allostasis, this reflects a progressive disturbance of vital force where unresolved stress patterns manifest as deeper pathology. So the remedies aim to restore the equilibrium, reduce this burden, and support long-term regulation. This is what the homeopathic remedies do. So how do we bridge this concept to homeopathy? How do we bridge this modern concept to homeopathy? Actually, we don't need any bridging. Actually, this is what homeopathy is. Vital force as a regulatory network. Symptoms are basically adaptive outputs, and remedies are regulatory stimuli, which regulate your network, which put your vital force to balance, right? So symptoms in homeopathy, when we consider in homeopathy, they're just expressions of imbalance. They help us in guiding the remedy, but at the end, totality is the key, right? We just don't look at the symptoms, we look at the totality. We look at the mental sphere of the patient. We look at the person's mind. We look at the person's emotions. We look at the person. We look in the person's family history. We look at the miasm. There are so many things that we look into, and then we form a totality, and then we come and think of a remedy, and then that remedy is the one which brings everything back to balance. Sometimes these remedies, you may just need 1 or 2 doses, but in cases which are pathologically irreversible, you may need a lot of stimulation of vital force, and you may need to repeat these remedies quite often. Okay. So this brings us to the concept of individualization, where every patient is unique. Okay, no one size fits all, and holistic case taking is a key to understanding, or the sicknesses. It is a key of treating the humanity. Okay. I'll just discuss one case in relation to this. How we can, when we are talking about the systems medicine, and when we are talking of the modern medicine, how we can bridge this gap in homeopathy, how we can explain the stoic modern medical practitioners, okay, in their language, so that they can understand things and they can come towards homeopathy, they can come towards holistic medicine, right? How do we do that? Okay, so I've just tried to explain this through one case. So this was a case of 21-year-old female. She is a case of ulcerative colitis and ankylosing spondylitis. Okay, spondylosis, sorry. And she's just 21 years old when she came to me. And she had this complaint since 6 years. That means she was just like 16 or 17 years old. Okay, she had a strong family history of autoimmune diseases, and she had this ulcerative colitis very early in her life. Okay, these are the symptoms. Okay, I always like to group the symptoms so that it is easy for us to understand. This is the location. Okay, with the location, there's onset, duration, progress, and frequency. These are the symptoms, the sensations. These are the modalities, and these are the concomitants, what the person feels along with this. Okay, it could be physical, it could be mental, right? So you see there's a lot of pain, rumbling, frequency of stools, okay, bleeding, and common typical symptoms of ulcerative colitis. But what was uh, characteristic in this case were the modalities. Okay, she would have this, she had a lot of sensitivity. She had sensitivity to almost every food, to pulses, to beans, to milk, to meat, to wheat, everything. Okay, that was something very specific in relation to ulcerative colitis. Now, in ulcerative colitis, usually such sensitivities are not that common. In Crohn's diseases, yes, we do find such sensitivities, but in ulcerative colitis, such sensitivities are not very common. So this helps us in understanding what is characteristic in this case. Okay, so it was in multiple allergies that she's having to food, basically. Along with this, she had these complaints of ankylosing, okay, where her neck had completely fused. There was complete bamboo spine on X-ray. She had limitation of movements. She couldn't move right, left. Now, this thing we cannot do anything, because when there is complete structural damage, okay, when there's bamboo spine, you cannot bring back the bamboo to normal. So this, what we could do in such cases is just limiting the pain and helping the patient, with the day-to-day, so that the person's day-to-day activities are getting better. Okay. Now, long-standing chronic conditions, long-standing chronic diseases. Okay, anybody who has, okay, it starts becoming going into from soma, it goes into psycho. Okay, we call these diseases. Okay, what do we call these diseases? We call them somatopsychic diseases. First, okay, to start with, there's always the affection of mind, but it is not so perceptible. But then with chronic condition, chronic suffering, okay, at the end, again, the mind gets affected. Okay, now just see how her mind is affected, how this mind has, deteriorated, increased thoughts, feeling if sees anything bad, feels same thing is going to happen to me. If sees somebody's death, feels I will also die. Okay, feels I'm possessed with the ghost. If she watches something on a television, she's absent-minded. Okay, now this also points out towards a highly sensitive mind, highly sensitive body, highly sensitive mind. Okay, and this were the physical appearances of the patient. She was very lean, thin, emaciated with stooped shoulders. Okay, perspiration was scanty. She had craving, but this also aggravated. Okay, she was 21 years old when she came to me. All right, she was 21 years old. She had not had her menses. All right, she didn't even have secondary sexual characteristics. The best part, she was so emaciated, she was so malnourished, and she was taking steroids continuously, and her breast spurts were not developed. She didn't even have axillary pubic hair. Now these are again, towards the signs of malnutrition. Okay, and more than that. Okay, more than the signs of malnutrition. Okay, this is how a chronic condition, a deep pathology, affects your whole body and your mind. Okay, these were her examination findings. A lot of investigations were done. I'm not going to go into details of that, but to understand this disease from a systems perspective, we need to understand the function that is affected, the pathology that is affected. Structure is the pathology, function is the physiology, and symptom forms are the symptoms that you see, right? We integrate all these things together to understand this particular patient. Similarly, this can be done for ankylosing spondylitis. I can, in future, when we do classical homeopathy lectures, I can talk a bit more about this. We call this SFFT, which I use in my homeopathic practice, that is structure, form, function, and time. Okay, this helps us in understanding the diseases from individualistic perspective. Okay, so this was the totality. Now, in this case, I had taken up the Bonninghausen's approach because the physicals were really marked. Okay, I took mentals for differentiation. Okay, like dreams of dead people and the irritability. All these things were taken as mentals were taken as differentiation. Bonninghausen's approach, we focus on the physical and we take the mind symptoms as differentiation. Right? She didn't have any capacity to even tell me about, much of her feelings about apart from what I just showed you. Okay, and this was the potential differentiation field. And the remedies that came up were arsenic, ferrum, phosphorus, bryonia, and sulfur. The homeopathic remedy that was given to this patient was ferrum metallicum. Okay, based on now Dr. Parveen Zareen would have already understood why I have given ferrum metallicum to this patient, but understanding the hyper active system, multiple allergies, multiple cravings, multiple aversions, multiple aggravations, all these things coupled with weakness, irritability, blood loss, anemia, all these things point out towards the homeopathic remedy from ferrum metallicum. A detailed follow-up criteria was established for this patient so that I understand what is going on. So this was the follow-up criteria for me. Every time when the patient came to me, I would assess all these symptoms. Okay, even from pathological perspective, physical perspective, and even examination perspective. All these things were taken into account. And S means status quo, means no relief. All right, I started with ferrum metallicum 200, but as I've told you, in such pathological conditions, we need frequent repetitions. I should have started with more repetitions right at the beginning. All right, but as you see, as the repetitions are increasing, you can see that there is amelioration. This is amelioration. She started feeling better. Few places she is going to be SQ, like for example, the movements of the spine. We don't think nothing much can be done. In between, she had an acute episode of fever and chills. Heparin sulfuricum was given. Okay, as it progressed ahead, ferrum metallicum was increased from one powder bedtime to 3 to 7, and then even 2 times a day. And intercurrent remedy tuberculinum was given in between. After around 4 months of treatment, or around 4 to 5 months of treatment, patient's mother noticed pubic hair. Says her weakness is better. Patient gets dreams of friends and people around her now. Earlier, she used to get dreams of dead people. Destructive mentality, destructive mind. How the mind is getting back to. So see how you see you'll see the mind getting better more compared to the physicals first, right? There were no more dreams of dead people. And you can see 0 means those symptoms are absent, right? And then after around 6 months of treatment, first time in her life, she got her menses, which lasted for 4 to 5 days. First day was mild spotting, rest days were normal flow. She had to change one pad per day. And she said that all comers are mildly better. And she said that, I feel like a woman today. I felt that I was trapped in a, I felt I was trapped. My body was trapped. I can feel that I am a woman now. I can feel that, I'm liberated. And see, these are the things which automatically, relieve the patient's sufferings. We cannot cure this condition completely, right? These are autoimmune conditions, but we can limit. So far now, her ulcerative colitis episodes are hardly any episodes she gets of bleeding anything. All right. Her spine is fused. I don't think we can do anything about that. Maybe Dr. Zareen can throw more light. If a fused spine can again be, we can do something about that. I don't know, but I couldn't do anything so far. But if there's Dr. Parveen has some protocol, I can try that. So the spine can, get moving or what. But I don't know whether we can do something in that stage for that. But physically, she's doing much better. She has gained good weight. And this is what, I wanted to show, how homeopathy can go deep. If we understand the holistic perspective, how it can, change a person's life, right? So this is all from me. These were a few for the theoretical part. These are the few things where I took the, notes from. Thank you so much. I hope uh, everybody enjoyed the presentation. And if there are any questions, I would really appreciate.
Thank you, Dr. Faisal. This was wonderful, actually. That's a great accomplishment. Thank you for sharing this. And I'm pretty sure that Dr. Parveen has something to say in regards to that. Like what you've learned from the homeopathy education and training, you've actually put it into practice with, I would say, great professionalism. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. I would appreciate Dr. Zareen to share. The main reason, there were 2, 3 other cases, but this case I put, so that I can get some inputs from Dr. Zareen too. Because I'm really hopeful if something can be done for the spine. I don't know if we can do something or not.
That we can
but
talk
I would
about it
really,
at the round table for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, but what I could comment, I would like to have that's for all of us, like especially my homeopathic students, to understand the intersection of philosophy and science in homeopathy. So Dr. Faisal just mentioned ferrum metallicum. Ferrum metallicum is a homeopathic medicine that comes from the mineral kingdom, right? So ferrum, which is iron, and metallicum, both actually. It's from philosophical aspect of materia medica or medicine. is a structure, a strength. So when we do, let's do the analogy again, like the body of the person is the house, right? The body of the patient is the house. So ferrometallicum is telling us that the structure, the framework of the house is weak. That's why we have to go with mineral kingdom. Mineral kingdom is the strongest in terms of structure. So choosing something from mineral kingdom is a right choice, which Dr. Faisal did. So from the philosophy aspect of it, the framework of the patient, correct, is ferrometallicum. When it comes to biology, the science, which is furnishing the inside the patient, is the blood-related things, means she is completely deficient. It's chronic deficiency is causing the blood not to be made, and the body is not oxygenated. So it's from the biology aspect of it. From the pathology aspect of it, whatever started, it starts with severe inflammation. That ferrum phos or ferrometallicum is an indication of the inflammation. So, and anything that is blood related, we can call it like border anemia or anemia. So I think that was a great choice, that ferrometallicum. It's definitely, if the patient came to me, I would go with the mineral kingdom. I don't go with plant kingdom or animal kingdom. So it was a great choice from pathological aspect, from physiological aspect, biological aspect, and philosophical aspect of it. So that's what the comments I want to make. It is something that the way that we teach it to our homeopathic students to really understand how science meets philosophy in homeopathy.
Okay, so thank you so much. And now it's myself.
First of all, let me just welcome Dr. Leonard Horowitz to the conference. It's great to see you, Dr. Leonard. We miss you. Where are you? Actually, we mostly talk over the phone. So that's how
you see me? Can you see me?
Yes, we do. Absolutely. We can hear you. Thank you for being here, Dr. Leonard.
Wonderful. Well, great to join you. So if you're going to go before the video is played, that's fine with me. I'll stand by, okay?
So Dr. Maria, it's up to you, between you and Leonard. Which one could go first? If
I will give the honor to Dr. Leonard.
Okay,
you can go ahead and I will follow you after.
Okay, that's fine. Dr. Zarin, do you have the video to play? And then I can take questions that come from it.
Do you have it handy? Let me go to find it.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's uploaded on YouTube, and now I have to go to YouTube.
Got no trouble in my life. I'm never frightened or worried. I know I'll always get by. In this video, I assert and evidence that not only do you have the music in you, and not only are you kept alive by music, actually musical mathematics, but there are harmonious vibrations in you designed by God to be regulated and inspired this way by music. That
is that video? Are you playing the video or just the audio?
Soul salvation depends on it.
Dr. Horowitz, I think, do you have it handy?
I'm sorry, do you
have the video handy that you can play it from your side?
Oh, gee whiz. Oh, that's a good question. I'm sure I can get it.
Yeah, get it. So just that you have time. No worries. I love the video and I like to show it. Actually, I saw it a couple of times, and you can hear the voice, right? You can hear the.
I can hear the audio, but
the audio.
There's a lot of great slides and images that go along with the audio that I think most of the members would appreciate.
Any technical
Dr. Parveen
that can help me with this?
Yes, Dr. Parveen, I suggest you share your screen and run the video from your screen.
That's what I'm doing.
But are you sharing the screen?
Yes, I'm trying to. I'm trying to find it. So I already find it, but it's not coming on my sharing platform. So
It should come up. So try again. Just
let
have
me
it
try
run.
it.
Yeah, try it again. There you go. Now you're sharing. No,
Is it
Dr. Faisal is sharing. Hold on. Dr. Faisal,
Dr.
you can stop
Dr.
sharing.
Fai, maybe that's a reason. Dr. Faisal,
Yeah.
can you stop sharing?
Oh, I don't even know that I don't know if I'm sharing. Sorry.
Okay, now we can move forward.
Let me see why it's not coming. No, it's not again. So hold on a second. Let me see the Chrome. Let me go to the Chrome and yeah, I have the video right here. At your end, Dr. Horowitz, you do the same thing. Try to bring it on. Maybe one of us can share. Let me see.
You're on mute, Dr. Horowitz.
Okay, I have it right here.
So Zain, do you want to share with me and I can share?
Let me share it with you.
Yeah.
On WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Okay, so, okay.
You're on mute, Dr. Horowitz. We can't hear you.
Okay, let me share it with Dr. Oh, what's going on here? It doesn't let me share it on WhatsApp.
This is the beauty of the direct.
So we have time. We are not in rush, so we have time.
No rush, no rush.
Yeah, let's just do it right.
Yeah, you share it with me, Dr. Zareen?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
downloading. It's loading because
No problem.
it's a long video, so it's loading. Just gives me some time.
No problem. Yes.
Finish it. Yeah, finish loading.
No, you're still on mute, Dr. Leonard. We're not able to hear you.
Okay, Dr.
Yeah, just to complicate matters.
Don't worry about it. I'm sharing it to Dr.
Oh, okay. All right. See if you can do it.
You know what we can do? I can go to the link.
Let's see. I think I might be able to share screen. Yeah, I think that's it. Share.
Let's see.
There we go.
Okay, that's on my end here.
See, that's
now,
what I'm saying. I think it's prohibited to share it with.
All right. If you can see it.
We see your slide. We see your PowerPoints.
Okay. Now, is it you are sharing screen? Okay. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for here.
Okay, Dr. Faisal, let me just send you a
Let
link.
me just give
Not
it
the video.
this. Okay, here we go. Can you see that?
Yes, we can. And you can
Okay.
enlarge it.
I'm going to enlarge it. Great idea. Let's see if I can do that
Okay.
right here.
No, it's not the one.
Oh, that all the way to the far. Yeah, there you go.
There you
Right
go.
there.
Okay.
There you go. Now you can start it. Perfect.
All
But
right.
Leonard is not the one that you sent me.
I'm sorry?
It's not the one you sent me.
I know. That's what I'm concerned about. Yeah.
No, it's not the one you sent me.
What was the title of the one I sent you?
Yeah, let me go to you. Hold on a second. Oh my goodness. I was well prepared last night, but yeah, let me just.
Yeah, I sent a new one last night.
No, okay, let me just send this to Dr. Faisal.
You know, I think any one of them, it will give a similar background that we can take questions on.
No, the one that you sent me is beautiful. So
All right.
like
Do you know the name? Do you remember the name of it?
yeah, it's it's a music lover. It's
Music lovers rejoice.
Yeah, rejoice. So, yeah, rejoice.
Okay.
Dr. Faisal, I sent the link to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Okay, so he's gonna do it. So,
Full screen.
yeah, it's the one. It's the one. It's the one actually.
Okay.
Voice. Transcend insanity and fulfill your
Yeah,
destiny.
Leonard, go back to the yes, that's the one. That's the one.
Start from the beginning.
To make me cry.
All right.
I'm never crying over it.
Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Yes, we can.
Just
Okay,
play
should I
it.
start?
Just play it.
Should I start now?
Yes,
you may.
Okay.
Dr. Faisal, keep the
Okay,
what you call it, the link. If there's any problem, just come on.
sure.
Oh.
Doesn't have a voice. Leonard, don't unmute yourself.
Yeah, he is unmuted. For some reason, we're not hearing it anymore.
I think he has not clicked the button, Dr. Leonard. He has not clicked the button when you shared. So that's why we cannot hear it.
Okay, so we want to reduce the screen, Dr. Leonard, so that we can adjust the audio. If you just click escape.
I think he is not able to hear us.
I think his audio is gone. Is blocked somehow.